who'd found her Prince Charming.
He was real nice, like a gentleman.
He's able to spoil her.
Until the day she mysteriously disappeared.
They did find her vehicle in her father's driveway.
There's blood on the handle.
Oh, God. Somebody right.
The search for the missing woman will uncover a deadly secret.
Her girlfriends were like, girl, you got this stalker.
She'd have like 30 text messages.
You need to get like a restraining order.
But will it be too little, too late?
You're never supposed to question God's will, but I'm like, God, come on, man. Not my daughter. Not in the manner where she went.
Everybody's face was down and they was crying.
What he did is sickening.
The brutality of what happened to her. It sticks with me even now.
May 22nd, 2011. It's Sunday morning in Greensboro, North Carolina, a southern city of about 300,000.
Greensboro is one of the 5 largest cities in the state of North Carolina.
A city like Greensboro has some history with respect to the civil rights movement, and you have great academic reputation.
This is a very family-oriented town, but this is not a city where crime does not occur.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, James Sherrod is making his way back home to Greensboro. He's driven straight from work in Atlanta, worried about his daughter, 29-year-old Therese Roseborough.
James Sherrod had been away for work. He was on the road when he gets the call from Therese's mom.
Her mother said, I haven't heard from your daughter. I'm calling Therese's phone and it goes straight to voicemail.
That's not like Teresa. She always answered the phone. So we was like, it's not like her.
So I got up at 5 o'clock that morning and I drove all the way home.
When James pulls into his driveway, he breathes a sigh of relief.
First thing I noticed is my SUV is sitting in the driveway.
When he go out of town, he'll get her the truck because she ain't have no cars.
But does that mean his daughter is safe?
Now look, my keys is in the initial. I kind of walked down a little bit. And that's when I noticed what's blood on my door handle.
Oh, God.
He knew that his daughter was in trouble.
29-year-old Therese Roseborough turned heads whenever she entered a room.
She was a very, very happy, very energetic, outgoing young lady.
She was a real good, wonderful person. And she had a good heart. Like, she'll help anybody out. I was trying to keep everybody together.
She loved to make people happy. She loved to make people smile.
And when it came to family and friends, Therese always had their backs.
She just didn't play about the people that she loved.
She was like a protector. She loved you. Like, if she your friend, she your friend to the end.
Let me see what they're doing.
Hey!
But most of all, the single mom adored her children.
If you've seen her, you've seen her 2 kids with her. Always.
We get you.
She loved her kids so much. Her kids come before anything.
That was the most important thing to her in the world.
For the sake of her children, Therese also went to great lengths to ensure that their fathers remained in their lives.
Even if she wasn't with them, they were great. Took care of the kids, still did for the kids, and most importantly, spent time with the kids.
They had an understanding, pretty much of, hey, we got these kids to take care of.
While Therese's priority was her kids, she also longed to find someone she could share her life and her family with. And in 2009, she thought she found that in a Greensboro chef named Dwayne Brown.
Hey, what's up, ladies?
We were partying, it was just like girls' night. She just kind of like met them.
But your friend right here, she's just shining. What is your name?
Therese.
Therese? Oh my gosh, Therese, that's a beautiful name.
He was real nice to her when they started talking to each other.
They seemed to hit it off.
By any chance, can I get a dance with you?
Yeah. Like that.
After that night, Dwayne and Therese started spending more and more time together.
What appealed to Therese was the fact that here's Dwayne, the guy who's stable. He has solid employment. He's making good money. He's able to spoil her and buy her some nice things.
Soon, the two were head over heels for each other.
She's kind of falling for him.
They shared this incredible passion.
Dwayne was really in his feeling, and he let it be known to Therese. He put it right out there that I'm really falling for you.
After 2 years of dating, Dwayne and Therese took the next big step.
They moved in together.
Dwayne was just checking all the right boxes, and things were really looking good.
It seemed like Therese had found everything she had been looking for with Dwayne. But now, on May 22nd, 2011, Therese's father has just come home and made a horrifying discovery.
Mr. Sherrod arrives at home, and his SUV is there, and he notices there's blood on the vehicle.
Therese had been using her dad's SUV while he was out of town.
I immediately called the Greensboro Police Department, and I told them the situation with my daughter.
She's missing, and I just came home, and her car she was driving had blood on it. I think something terrible has happened to my daughter.
Officers arrive on the scene moments later and are also concerned by what they find.
The first two actual officers that came out there and looked at the door handle. He said, Mr. James, we're going to have to take your car and pound your car.
But has Therese fallen victim to foul play? That's what homicide detectives suspect when they arrive and speak with her father.
She just recently split up with her boyfriend, so nobody else should be driving.
James Sherrod explains she had just had this breakup with her boyfriend.
That is a red flag.
Dwayne Brown, in the eyes of law enforcement, probably is a suspect.
It appeared that 29-year-old single mom Therese Roseborough had finally found happiness with 38-year-old Dwayne Brown.
They become a couple, and Dwayne asks Therese and the kids to move in.
It really looked like they were settling down together.
But now, Therese and Dwayne have broken up, and her father has called the police after finding blood on the vehicle he'd loaned her.
James Sherrod explains to him that this is the SUV that he had left with Therese so that she could move from Dwayne's place to his place.
So was this an amicable breakup?
I'm not sure. I try not to pry. I just try to be supportive.
I told her, look here, just get what you can out of that house and y'all move in my house until you can get yourself together.
So when's the last time you spoke with your daughter?
Friday afternoon.
I never forget that. It was about 2:00. And my last words to her was, baby, I love you.
He explained that Therese had made plans to unwind a little bit. She was looking forward to spending time with her friends.
Do you know if anyone's spoken with her since then?
No, her mother ain't heard from her. And that's very unlike her.
James says that's especially unusual, since Therese's mother was watching her children over the weekend.
She didn't call her kids and see if her kid's okay. This was like, nah, something ain't right.
After searching the SUV, detectives suspect they're right.
There was some blood in the interior of the car, certainly enough to say that there was some foul play involved.
What police don't find inside the vehicle could also be telling.
The keys are in the car, but there's no cell phone from Therese. Her purse is not in there.
There was nothing of any significant value in the vehicle.
Is it possible Therese had been the victim of a random robbery or assault?
We have recently had some of the highest criminal caseloads within the state of North Carolina.
Oh, Lord.
Given the circumstances and the blood, detectives doubted that meant Therese walked away on her own.
Here is this woman who is missing, who has not made contact with her family about her children. Why would Therese leave of her own free will and not contacted anyone?
There's probably some foul play going on. So they want to take the vehicle in and have it checked out for further clues.
Leaving CSIs to arrange for a tow, detectives pay a visit to Teresa's friend, Miguel Chavis.
Anything I can do to help? Teresa's my best friend.
We was real close since we was 8 years old.
Miguel tells police that Teresa had come by on Friday afternoon.
She came over. She had her son with her.
What time did they get there?
It was after lunch.
While Teresa's little boy played in the other room, Miguel says she and Teresa discussed their plans for the evening.
Once the daughter was out of school, Teresa was going to take her and the son over to her mom's house. That would free her up for the evening to go out and have a nice time on the town.
We are hitting the club tonight. Yeah.
You're not missing Dwayne.
No, girl.
She was like, I broke up with her. We're going to have a girls' night. We're finna have fun.
But Miguel says that their planning session was soon interrupted.
Teresa's phone just kept ringing, and it was Dwayne.
That man don't quit.
I'm ignoring him.
Only according to Miguel, Dwayne refused to be ignored.
There's a knock at Miguel's door, and it's Dwayne.
What you want, Dwayne?
I need you to come to the house to get your stuff right now.
And he was like, come get your stuff now, because he had to go somewhere.
He said, I'm going out of town. We need to go ahead and make this happen.
Was he aggressive with her?
He was very aggressive. Well, not like physically aggressive, but just his demands and everything.
How did Therese react to that?
I mean, she's a little annoyed, but I think she just wanted to get her things and get out of there.
She was like, all right. And when she was about to go, I asked her, I was like, do you want me to go with you?
Nah, girl, I'll be right back.
She was like, I'll be back in an hour.
She felt safe enough to leave, not only with her person, but also with her 3-year-old son.
Do you happen to remember what kind of car they left in?
Yeah, Teresa's in her dad's SUV.
So she get in the truck. He followed behind her.
Miguel says that an hour passed. And then 2.
I'm like, she ain't back yet. So I called her phone. Her phone kept on going to the voicemail.
Were you worried?
No, I just figured her and Dwayne were talking things out.
She thought that, well, no, they're probably making up and she probably turned the phone off.
Or, considering the blood detectives found on Teresa's borrowed SUV, could there be a more sinister explanation?
They're thinking Dwayne maybe could have done something.
What was Teresa's relationship like with Dwayne?
To be honest, they argued a lot. That's why they split up.
She knew she couldn't do it no more.
Do you think Dwayne could be capable of physically harming Teresa?
Nah, I don't think he would take it that far.
We was like, nah, it probably wouldn't have went that way.
However, with no other leads, detectives head out to home in on their only suspect. But before they can locate Teresa's ex, they'll get a tip that could lead the case in an entirely new direction.
Detectives get a call from another friend who tells them about this new guy Teresa had met.
About 6 months before Teresa actually broke up with Dwayne, there was this gathering the girlfriends had put together.
We was like, hey, we got some new friends we're going to go out with.
Teresa had tagged along and met 28-year-old Joshua Dully.
Another male friend had brought Josh along. Josh and Teresa connected, exchanged phone numbers, but she made it clear to Josh, you and I are just friends here.
But Josh might not have gotten the message.
They start communicating, started exchanging text messages, a lot of it coming from Josh, to the point where the girlfriends were like, girl, you got this stalker.
Greensboro, North Carolina detectives investigating the disappearance of 29-year-old Teresa Roseborough have just learned the missing single mom may have had a stalker.
A man named Josh had been repeatedly texting Teresa over the last few months.
Josh kind of poured his heart out to her. I know you're still in a relationship with this other guy, but listen, I want us to be together.
Teresa had told Josh she wasn't interested.
But now detectives wondered, what if Josh wouldn't take no for an answer?
Maybe Josh found out there was a breakup with Dwayne.
Josh might have assumed, maybe she was finally breaking up with Dwayne to be with me.
As far as Josh was concerned, here was an opportunity.
But had Josh's hopes been just as quickly dashed?
Maybe Josh let his feelings get the best of him.
Or did Dwayne suspect Therese was dumping him for someone new?
Maybe Dwayne was upset that this cat Josh is getting involved and moving in on his girl.
The revelation of a possible love triangle is a huge red flag for detectives.
They left a message for Dwayne to call them back. Police were thinking they have Dwayne, who has a history with Therese. They've also got this new guy, Josh. They need to talk to both of them, but they're having trouble reaching Dwayne.
In the interim, detectives move on to Josh.
They reach him, and Josh gets to the police station, and the police begin their interrogation.
Face to face with detectives, Josh appears upset about Therese's disappearance.
Man, she means so much to me.
During the interview, he didn't deny having a thing for Therese, but he said it wasn't going anywhere.
She wants to just keep things friendly. He obviously wanted more, but, he respected what she was saying.
Although Josh also admits that Therese had called him on Friday and told him she was breaking up with Dwayne.
I was excited. We were going to go out to the club.
She's starting to warm up a little bit. Says, you know what, Josh? Some friends and I are getting together tonight, and you should come and hang out with us.
She told me to, meet her out. We're going to go to the club, have a good time.
What time was that?
It was around 10 o'clock, but I waited there for hours and hours, and she never showed up.
Josh said he kept texting Therese trying to figure out when she was going to get to the club, but she never responded.
Where'd you go after that?
Home.
Oh, you went home?
Yeah.
You have someone that can vouch for you for that?
No.
You don't mind if we check your phone out, do you?
Yeah.
Scanning through Josh's texts appears to confirm his story.
He's a little perturbed. He's like, okay, we've made these plans. You told me your plans to move on. I'm sitting here.
But they also wonder if there's more to the story than the texts reveal.
Were you aware that Therese met up with Dwayne earlier that afternoon?
No.
Really? Or did you actually find out and you got angry?
What are you trying to say, man?
It's clear to detectives that Josh was upset that Therese didn't show up or respond to his texts. So they asked him straight up, was he upset enough to harm her?
No way, man.
With nothing to tie Josh directly to the crime, detectives let him go. But they're far from done with him.
They still want to pull Josh's phone records because what they want to do now is, as they try to put together timelines, they also want to look at locations to track what cell phone towers were pinging and at what time.
In the meantime, still unable to get in touch with Dwayne, detectives ask Therese's mother, Terry Roseborough, to come in for a formal statement.
Terry tells police she's been trying to reach Therese for days now, but her calls were going straight into voicemail, and Therese wasn't responding to her texts either.
Well, if she was okay, sir, she would have called her kids by now.
She would not be out of touch that long and also out of touch from her children.
Therese's mom explains that she had been watching the kids since late Friday afternoon.
But according to Therese's mom, it wasn't Therese who dropped the kids off at her house.
It was Dwayne Brown who dropped them off.
He just said that she had gone off with her friends and had left him with the kids.
Was that unusual?
Her mom was like, she ain't gonna just leave her kids like that.
Less than 24 hours after Therese Roseborough's father reported her missing, her mother has just given detectives some disturbing information.
According to Therese's mom, it was her daughter's ex-boyfriend, Dwayne, who dropped the kids off at her house on the afternoon Therese disappeared.
Therese wasn't in the car.
They're thinking, wait a minute, If Therese and Dwayne no longer are a couple, what business would he have dropping off her kids to her mom's house?
Is this normal daily behavior?
No.
Regardless if he was her boyfriend or not, she don't leave her kids like unless it's with her mom.
That's how everybody knew like something ain't right because she ain't gonna never leave her kids.
Teresa's mother also tells detectives that her 3-year-old grandson was acting strange after being dropped off.
My grandson didn't want to leave that car.
He kept going to the trunk of the vehicle and standing by the vehicle, just standing there. He didn't say anything, but he would not leave the trunk area.
She ain't think nothing of it because, you know, he's a little baby.
But in hindsight, after Therese went missing, her mother says she made a chilling realization.
I knew he had did something to harm my baby, and maybe she's even in the trunk of that car.
According to Teresa's mom, her grandson's behavior isn't the only reason she suspects Dwayne did something either.
My daughter has told me that Dwayne has been abusive.
Teresa admitted, yeah, sometimes Dwayne can get outside of himself and he can overdo it and maybe push me around in front of the kids.
News that Dwayne had abused Teresa in the past comes as a surprise to detectives.
I really didn't know that there was even a problem.
Do you think things could have ever went further than that?
She said she had it handled.
She used to tell me, Dad, I don't want you to get involved. And I trusted my daughter. I'm like, okay, she don't need no help.
But had Therese been wrong? Had Dwayne been more than she could handle? Detectives are starting to suspect that could be the case.
At this point, the police were trying to get a hold of Dwayne for more than 12 hours.
They're like, man, this guy's probably on the run.
We believe at that point, Mr. Brown did run, and he was fleeing the area.
Alongside what they heard from Teresa's mom, the fact that Dwayne had apparently fled was enough for a judge to authorize a search warrant.
Once detectives have the warrant, they head to Dwayne's house.
They knock on the door.
Please, open up.
No response. They get to a point like, look, we got to see if the guy's in there.
Dwayne isn't home, but what the police do find is alarming.
When they searched the residence, there was evidence that there had been some foul play. There had been flecks of blood that had not been cleaned up. The biggest item, though, was that the carpet was missing. It had just been completely cut out of the middle of the floor.
To detectives, it looks like they've just found the crime scene.
You don't just cut out one section of a floor and leave it. Something happened in that room.
And detectives had a pretty good idea of what that was.
At that point, we're looking beyond just a missing person. We're looking for the possibility that there is a body.
Now all but certain Therese is dead and that Dwayne is her killer. Detectives work quickly to bring him in for questioning.
One of the common tactics that law enforcement will do is they'll try and trace their phone to see if it pings, which will give a general vicinity.
Police were able to track him down, and they discovered that he was still in town at a hotel.
Once detectives have located Dwayne, officers move in to secure the suspect.
Our violent crime apprehension team took him into custody.
They're waiting for him, guns drawn. He opens the door with his hands up.
He gave up pretty peacefully.
They make the arrest and take him back to the station.
They brought him down to the interview room here in Greensboro, and he did waive his rights and agree to speak.
Does that mean he's ready to tell the truth, though?
When they did talk to Dwayne Brown, he was defensive. He didn't know where she was, that they were done, that the relationship was over, and he continued to deny he knew what happened to her.
But when detectives reveal the mountain of evidence they have against him, Dwayne makes a shocking confession.
He owns up to it, says, yeah, I did. I killed her.
But it isn't what it looks like, okay?
Taken into custody by Greensboro, North Carolina detectives, 38-year-old Dwayne Brown has just confessed to killing his ex-girlfriend, 29-year-old Therese Roseborough.
He eventually did confess, but his confession was that he and Therese had gotten into an argument and she attacked him and that he had to defend himself.
We used to argue a lot, but she was the one who started all of the fights.
He was trying to put out there, trying to make it like she was a bully.
Dwayne tells detectives that things had initially been fine when she came over to pick up her things. But he says the mood changed once Therese sent her son outside to play.
Couldn't this have waited?
According to Dwayne, Therese is a kind of person who could push buttons.
No, I want you gone today.
It's ridiculous.
I'm being ridiculous. Me.
Things got heated between Therese and Dwayne. And so one thing led to another.
Until, according to Dwayne, Therese had flown into a rage.
Dwayne explains that as Therese went and grabbed the knife, she swipes at it. They struggle. He's trying to get the knife away from her.
He was able to wrestle it from her.
And Dwayne claims that in the midst of this struggle, he stabbed Therese, accidentally.
She was dead.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
Therese! Therese!
However, despite Dwayne's claim that he never intended to kill Therese, he didn't call the police.
Seeing Therese's dead body there, he explains that he panicked. And so what he did was he took that same knife and cut around on the carpet where there's blood. And he takes her body and puts it in the trunk.
But Therese's body wasn't the only loose end that Dwayne had to deal with.
What Dwayne says next about how he handled the aftermath only further convinces police of his guilt.
All of this time, with all this struggle going on in the house, the little boy, Therese's son, was in the backyard. So Dwayne says he scoops up the son and puts him in the car seat in the car, straps him in.
In the same car that his mom was in the trunk?
Yeah.
Did he see anything?
No, he was outside playing.
Once Therese's son was in the car, Dwayne drove to school, picked up Therese's daughter, and then drove them to their grandmother's house.
Unbeknownst to them, their mom, dead, is in the back of this vehicle.
Or did Therese's 3-year-old suspect something, given his behavior that afternoon?
This child would not leave that trunk area, but never articulated that he saw his mother.
Dwayne says that after dropping off the kids, he'd driven out of town, looking for a place to dump Therese's body.
He finds a wooded area and disposes of Therese's body, just dumps it like trash.
Then he drove back to town, took the SUV back to Therese's father's house, left it there, and then walked home.
Dwayne's story fits with most of what detectives already know, but that doesn't mean they believe him.
Trying to convince people that he had murdered her in self-defense was absurd.
When I heard about that, ain't no way self-defense.
You don't stab someone in self-defense and then cut up a carpet to hide their body.
However, before they charge him, detectives do need one more thing from Dwayne.
We needed to recover her body, and we talked to him about the importance of finding her and giving her peace and putting an end to all of this.
Think of the family.
Early the next morning, Dwayne leads detectives to the roadside ditch where he disposed of Therese's body.
The discovery of her body is one that I will never forget.
Rolled her body up in a piece of carpet like she was nothing, like she was a piece of trash. And she stayed out there for 3 days, and we're talking about 95 to 100-degree weather.
She was disposed of in such a way that is unworthy of any living being. Not even a dog should be treated that way.
The news that Therese has been found confirms her family's worst fears.
It was very emotional. Everyone was just torn apart.
You're never supposed to question God's will, but I'm like, God, come on, man. I'm supposed to go first. Not my daughter. Not in the manner where she went.
The next day, the autopsy results confirm that the body is Therese.
When they told me, it was like I was prepared for it, but I wasn't prepared for it.
But confirming Therese's identity isn't all the report reveals. Therese had suffered numerous wounds, inconsistent with Dwayne's account of self-defense.
There are cuts on her arms.
One thumb was almost severed.
But perhaps the most compelling evidence that Therese's death was intentional are the other areas where she was stabbed.
There were stab wounds on her neck. There were stab wounds on her breast and her chest area.
There's a wound in the back, which shows that she was stabbed from behind.
For police and prosecutors, the autopsy results point to one conclusion and only one possible charge.
This was a clear case in the mind of the state of North Carolina of first-degree murder.
I'm like, I hope he get life. I'm like, because she didn't deserve that.
While the family grieves, detectives continue building their case against Dwayne.
We located other 911 calls where Therese Roseborough had called alleging that Dwayne Brown had assaulted her.
But for friends, family, and authorities alike, there is one more stunning revelation yet to come.
I'm like, why no one told us this?
Brown had tried to do this to a previous girlfriend.
Police in Greensboro, North Carolina, have arrested 38-year-old Dwayne Brown for the murder of his ex-girlfriend, Therese Roseborough.
The fact that he had put her in the trunk and rode around with her, acting like he didn't do nothing, was sick.
While Dwayne sits in jail, detectives digging into his criminal history make a chilling discovery.
Mr. Brown had a relatively minor criminal history. However, there was a conviction for an assault on a previous girlfriend where he tried to stab her with a knife.
The woman's name is Carrie Shaw.
She and Dwayne had a relationship, but over time, that situation didn't work out.
And according to Carrie, once she tried to end the relationship, Dwayne turned violent.
When she tells Dwayne, you gotta go, he grabs one of his chef's knives and puts it up to her neck.
But with a lot of luck and a little quick thinking, Carrie managed to survive.
Here's Carrie Shaw at knife point when Dwayne starts complaining about his head is hurt. So she says, hey, you want me to go get you some ice? And Dwayne agrees to release her.
Once Dwayne let her go, Carrie ran outside and dialed 911.
Law enforcement shows up at the house. They notice his cut on her neck. Looks bad enough to them to where she would need stitches. So they call an ambulance.
The police also arrested Dwayne, but he paid little price for what he did.
Dwayne didn't have any record at that point, but was pled to a misdemeanor.
The way the legal system works, he was able to take a plea and basically move on with his life.
But will he be so lucky a second time?
Under the rules of evidence, instances of domestic violence, not just between that victim and that offender, are relevant, but also evidence of the offender assaulting other people.
When Dwayne's trial begins on April 15th, 2013, his ex-girlfriend Carrie testifies for the prosecution.
She was nervous and a little afraid, but she did come to court and provide that vital information so that the jury could see this was not an accident.
She said, I'm glad I escaped. I'm glad I'm still living, but I know that within my heart, this guy was going to kill me that night.
It was only by the grace of God that she was able to still be present and tell her story. Unfortunately, Therese was not able to.
So the prosecution tells her story for her. They assert that on the afternoon of May 20th, 2011, Dwayne had become enraged at Therese while she packed the remainder of her belongings from his house.
You can't leave.
I'm not coming back. We're done.
You need to listen.
I just always find myself asking why. This is a big, big world. And if this particular person, if he or she didn't work out for you, just move on. But for some reason, folks feel like if I can't have you, nobody will.
I can't say definitively that his plan that whole day was to murder her, but from the minute he picked up that knife, he had enough rage and enough motive to where if she was not going to be with him, he was going to make sure that she did not live.
Prosecutors present Therese's autopsy report as evidence of Dwayne's intentions.
The real truth of what happened is Therese herself. It was her body, the attempts to defend herself from him, the number of stab wounds that he had inflicted upon her, the viciousness and brutality of what happened to her. It sticks with me even now.
When it's their turn, the defense argues that if Dwayne's guilty of anything, it should be manslaughter, not murder.
The defense was that this was just a sudden event that happened and that he didn't mean to kill her, and so he should get a lesser sentence.
They said if Dwayne had been plotting and scheming to do this, would he not have been more careful about how he disposed of the body? So it was the heat of the moment, and unfortunately, this thing happened. That's what the defense wanted the jurors to believe.
But will they believe it? After 2 hours of deliberation, the jury delivers their verdict.
Dwayne Brown was convicted of first-degree murder. He received a sentence of life without the possibility of parole, which means he will never walk free on this earth again.
The justice that we asked for was answered.
I would rather have served it in another way myself, but he has a long time to sit back and think about it.
Serving life, Dwayne not only has time to think about what he did to Therese, he can also reflect on the lasting damage he inflicted on her 2 children.
My grandson had to go through a lot of treatment, man, because he had severe anger issues over this.
Thank goodness for therapy to help the kids overcome all of that. But man, who overcomes that?
But while no amount of therapy can ever make up for the loss of their mother, Therese's family and friends are making sure her death was not in vain.
Every year, I throw a memorial cookout. Every year in my daughter's name. And it's done to make awareness of domestic violence for some of these young women. Let my daughter be an example for you.
We ain't never think this was going to happen to Therese. She knew Dwayne more than we did. So if you feel like with her situation going on, anything, domestic violence, any signs, small signs, anything you feel like out this, you should just go on your separate way.
Go, because the longer you stay, the worse it get. If you need help, try to go to somebody. I know you be scared, just you gotta go before it be too late. Because I just don't want other people to go through the same thing she went through.
Abuse is never okay. If you or someone you love is in an abusive relationship, there is help available. Call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. She was a bright woman, headed down a dark path.
She kind of started sowing her wild oats and living the wild life.
She was like out there and very carefree.
She got in with the wrong crowd, started using drugs.
But when she finally found true love, she transformed into a brand new woman.
She just settled down.
He was a very positive influence on her.
For the first time in years, she has goals and ambition.
But her new beginning would come to a horrific end.
She was murdered.
Her body was burned.
It was the stuff that nightmares are made of.
The investigation will uncover a tangled web of secrets.
She was going to tell his wife.
I knew nothing about the guy. Never even heard of him.
We're on to suspect number 4 by my count.
But which one is her killer?
It was a big shock to me.
He didn't seem like he fit the bill.
I still can't believe that it's him.
October 8th, 2014. It's a beautiful autumn morning in Gwinnett County, Georgia, a sprawling suburb northeast of Atlanta.
Gwinnett County is a big place. It's got about 1 million people here. However, it has a really small town feel to it. We have a good school system. We have a good park system. The people are very nice. It's a very small townish in that way. Morning.
But one family's carefree stroll in the park is about to end in horror.
Walking their dog early in the morning in the park.
Oh my God, stop. What is that?
They come across a dead body. The body is burned. They can see drag marks on the ground.
Stunned, they rush back to the officers still parked near the greenbelt.
They immediately went back and got the officers and told them, hey, there's a body over here.
Right away, the police officers know that there's foul play involved.
6-5 to dispatch. Go ahead and start major crime star location.
On the scene, homicide detectives start by trying to determine who the victim is.
The burns were pretty significant, but you could still tell that she was African-American.
The victim doesn't have any ID on her, and there's nothing that readily identifies her.
Despite that, detectives are able to determine the dead woman's identity.
They brought a handheld unit they used to check fingerprints.
Detective?
Thank you.
They were able to very quickly get a match.
The victim is 26-year-old Lauren Taylor. Dalton, Georgia native Lauren Taylor had always been a fighter.
Lauren was the tough girl. You know, she ain't take no crap off of nobody.
She didn't have any kind of filter. She spoke her mind, told people what she thought.
She was just fearless and fierce. And I just love that energy. She always wanted to do her own thing.
But despite her feisty exterior, Lauren also had a heart of gold.
She just always had like a nurturing personality. She always just wanted to take care of people.
She was a person that you could open up to. You could say anything around her, and she could make you feel comfortable about yourself, make you feel loved.
You need her, she's going to be there.
But Lauren was closest to her grandmother.
Her grandmother was the matriarch in the family and really held everyone closely together.
I was their mother, and that was their grandmother, but they looked at her like a mother, too.
We would all always go to her house. We would all stay at her house. We were all close to her.
However, during Lauren's junior year of high school, her beloved grandmother passed away, and her life took a drastic turn.
Lauren took it really hard when my mom passed.
She was just kind of rebellious.
It put her in a really bad place.
She started doing things that was not her.
She was going out to clubs and partying. She got into some trouble and getting into drugs and things like that.
She was just searching for answers that she couldn't get.
Lauren's search only led to more problems.
She got in trouble with the police.
She was getting locked up for different things, so it was just getting worse and worse.
Lauren spent the next few years drifting, eventually ending up just across the state line in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
She didn't have a job. She didn't have any money, so she was trying to do whatever she could to get money.
She was a young lady that was just in a very precarious situation. Eventually, Lauren started working as an escort.
She got into that lifestyle from the crowd that she became friends with, a bunch of females in Chattanooga that were doing that. And she clicked right in with them because that's Lauren. She clicks in anywhere.
She already was a beautiful girl, so she already got the attention, but it was like, hey, I can make money out of this.
Lauren completely owned it. She owned it all the way. She didn't care how people viewed her, what they thought at this point anymore.
She thought she was living the glamorous life.
Lauren kept her source of income secret from her family back in Dalton, but they suspected something was going on.
I knew she was making it day to day. I knew she had money to do certain things, but I never really tried to ask her, what are you doing? I didn't ask her, are you selling drugs? What are you doing to get this money? I would talk to her, tell her, come back home. You don't like to see your kids out there like that. But she seemed like she was living the life that she wanted to.
However, just when it looked like Lauren's family had lost her, she met 36-year-old Jerry Day in the fall of 2013.
Do you mind if I take a seat?
Oh, no, not at all.
He worked as a cable installer for a local company.
He already had his own house.
So you just got it going on.
Yeah, I do pretty well.
He seemed like a very good guy.
Their chance encounter quickly turned into a relationship.
It was a positive influence on her.
He kind of settled her down.
She moved in with him.
She was just so in love. She always talked about how nice he was.
She wanted to be with him, to commit with him.
In a stable situation for the first time in years, Lauren started getting her life back on track.
Jerry was a big turnaround for her.
She was trying to get in school for culinary arts. She was trying to get her GED.
She's really moving towards the future.
But Lauren's bright future is cut short when police discover her badly burned body in a suburban Atlanta park.
They must have wondered if her troubled past had come back to haunt her.
Or had Lauren's fresh start taken a deadly turn?
They had a tumultuous relationship.
It started getting a little aggressive.
He could have motive to kill.
By 2014, it appeared that 26-year-old Lauren Taylor was turning her life around thanks to boyfriend Jerry Day.
Once she was with him, she was kind of a different person. She wasn't as wild.
She was trying to change and become a better person and do better with her life.
It was like she's finally getting it together. I'm not going to have to worry about somebody calling me saying something happened.
But now, more than a year after meeting Jerry and getting her life back on track, detectives have just found Lauren's dead body dumped in a suburban Atlanta park.
There were drag marks on the ground, which imply that she was likely killed somewhere else and then brought to this spot.
She didn't have to be doing something here locally. She could have been killed where she was from and then just dropped off in Gwinnett County.
Then whoever dumped the body had set it on fire.
They was burned using accelerant, probably gasoline, most likely. For lack of better terms, it was horrific.
How Lauren's body ended up in the park isn't entirely clear to detectives.
Obviously, it was a homicide, but I don't think they had any idea in what direction to go or where to turn. Once they found the identity of the victims, Taylor, they had no leads and they had to start from scratch.
Lauren's body offers few clues about her killer's identity.
She was wrapped up in a blanket and set on fire.
The only part of that blanket that was really there still was a part that was directly underneath her body.
Crime scene investigators also gather the trash and debris surrounding the body in faint hopes that something might trace back to Lauren's killer.
There were cigarette butts everywhere. It was an open public park. So anything that they thought that could be helpful in the investigation they took into evidence, I would say it was probably over 100 pieces of stuff they just took just there on the scene.
While the CSI team works, detectives head to Dalton, Georgia, to inform Lauren's mother of her daughter's murder.
Unfortunately, that's one of the jobs that falls to detectives. And they drove up and they let her know that Lauren had been killed.
They told me, we found your daughter in a park this morning. And after that, I don't think I heard anything for at least about 10 minutes.
I was just in shock. She had so much more to do in life. She just didn't deserve it at all.
Sorry to have to ask, but
When detectives ask Lauren's mother if she has any idea who might want to hurt her daughter, she tells them no.
There really wasn't too much I could tell them. All I knew is she was staying in Chattanooga.
However, Lauren's mother thinks there's someone who can help.
Her sister, Michelle, they were very close.
Lauren confided in her about a lot of stuff that she didn't tell other people.
Lauren's mother calls Michelle, who comes straight over.
thank you for meeting with us.
Michelle says she has no idea why her sister would be anywhere near Gwinnett County, where police had found her body.
She did not typically come here.
She didn't know anybody down there.
Although Michelle does explain that her sister has a troubled past.
She was very forthcoming about it.
Lauren had some struggles. She got in with the wrong crowd, started using drugs, and turned to sex work.
That's how she supported herself.
How did your sister find her clients?
Mostly through Backpage.
At the time, Backpage is one of the most popular sources for those kind of endeavors, and she did have regular customers that she would see.
According to Michelle, that changed when Lauren started dating Jerry Day.
They had a good relationship in the beginning.
I was happy that she found somebody who seemed to genuinely care about her.
However, after several months of dating, Michelle says things started to change.
All of a sudden now, her relationship with her boyfriend, it wasn't going so good.
It went from good to bad in a hot second.
Lauren had told her sister that Jerry had been violent in the past.
Did you ever witness any of the violence?
No. I just heard about it from Lauren.
The sister said that her boyfriend broke some of her fingers.
Michelle says that despite Jerry's behavior, Lauren had stayed with him until the night of October 3rd, just 5 days before police found her body.
Lauren called Michelle that night and told her that something had happened between her and Jerry, but she didn't go into detail as to what that something was. She just told her that Jerry had kicked her out of the house.
Michelle didn't learn what happened until later that night, when she gave her sister a ride to a friend's house.
She was going to go stay with some friends in Rising Fawn, Georgia, who she had met a few months back.
On the way, she was real hysterical. She was just crying, just bawling.
According to what Michelle tells detectives, Lauren may have had reason to be upset.
Lauren had told the boyfriend that she was pregnant, and he didn't like that.
He just flipped out.
He didn't want to have a baby.
He told her to get out.
But now that Lauren is dead, detectives wonder if that's all Jerry had done.
Lauren's pregnancy may have been motivation for him to kill.
Detectives investigating the murder of 26-year-old Lauren Taylor have just learned a disturbing piece of news about Lauren and her boyfriend.
They had had a major breakup right before all of this happened.
She had told him she was pregnant and he had flipped out. I don't think my sister was really pregnant.
Do you think Jerry knew that?
I doubt it.
Lauren's sister told the police that Jerry had kicked her out of the house after an argument.
Detectives wonder if that's all Jerry had done.
She told me he's crazy and something's wrong, like he's delusional. So that was my first thoughts, like this guy must be involved.
Michelle tells detectives that Lauren had spent the night of October 3rd with her.
So what did she do after she left her exes?
She stayed with me that night, and then she had me take her to a friend's house the next day.
According to Lauren's sister, the friend lives in Rising Fawn, Georgia, a small town just across the Tennessee state line from Chattanooga.
Michelle said that Lauren was hoping to stay with a friend for a few days until she could figure out what she could do.
Because Miss Taylor didn't work a regular job, she was living off of her boyfriend, for lack of better terms.
Do you think she could have gone back into prostitution?
Her sister's answer stuns detectives.
She told them that Lauren had continued to work as a prostitute this entire time.
Lauren, on more than one occasion, to go out and turn tricks.
Do you think Jerry was aware of her work as an escort?
I really don't know.
If he knew, that may have given him further motive.
Although, according to Michelle, Jerry had another reason to be angry with Lauren.
Lauren had taken a bunch of the boyfriend's things, like a PlayStation 3, a Fire tablet, some very expensive guitars. She felt like she was owed those things for being in the house with him, and she was looking for a way to get money.
After talking to Lauren's sister, detectives have a few possible suspects. But so far, Jerry Day has the most motive.
At that point, he's probably prime suspect number one.
However, since Lauren had continued working as an escort, Jerry's far from the only suspect.
It's possible that her killer could have been a client.
When detectives receive Lauren's autopsy report, it does provide some clear answers about how she died.
She had died by asphyxiation first, meaning somebody had choked her to death and then set on fire.
There was no soot in her lungs or her trachea.
However, the report's findings also raise questions about her breakup with Jerry.
There was no evidence that Lauren had broken any fingers recently. And furthermore, she wasn't even pregnant.
Hoping for some answers, detectives reach out to 36-year-old Jerry Day.
They're unable to get a hold of him, so detectives left a message asking him if he could call them back.
Then, while waiting to hear back from Jerry, detectives drive up to Rising Fawn and knock on the door of the home where Michelle dropped off her sister.
That was the last time that the sister heard from or talked to Lauren.
Hi, we're with the Gwinnett County Police Department. Are your parents home?
No.
Do you know when they might be back?
No, I don't know.
The girl does know Lauren, though.
Lauren was staying with them. She's been here for the last couple of days.
However, the girl says that when she came home from school yesterday afternoon, Lauren wasn't there.
When she asked her father where Lauren was, he said that she was gone and she wasn't going to be coming back.
This sent off red flags for the police.
Before detectives can get any further, a car pulls up to the house.
Hey, what's going on here?
Gwinnett County Police. We're conducting an investigation. What's your name, sir?
Leo Kendrick. Honey, you can go inside. It's okay.
Oh, is that your daughter?
Yes. What's this about?
We understand that there's a woman by the name of Lauren Taylor who's been staying here with you.
Uh-huh.
So his statement is that Lauren did come to stay with it, but when the police got there, she had already left.
But his answer isn't what makes detectives suspicious.
His clothes actually smelled like gasoline.
He had scratches on his hands that were consistent with defensive marks.
They thought they may very well have their killer in front of them.
Detectives investigating the murder of Lauren Taylor believe they may have just uncovered her killer, Leo Kendrick, the man she'd been staying with after breaking up with her boyfriend.
He had scratch marks on his hands that were consistent with somebody trying to fend off somebody choking them, and he had gasoline on his clothing.
They knew that some sort of flamant had been placed on Lauren's body prior to burning her.
Detectives don't think it's a coincidence.
Sir, why do you have scratch marks?
He said that he was a brick mason and that those are consistent with scratches he might receive laying brick.
He said the gasoline was part of his work as well.
However, his answers seem all too convenient for detectives.
Okay, so why was she living here?
Leo said that Lauren had been watching their daughter while his wife was out of town.
She was helping out with the kids while my wife went out of town.
Leo tells detectives that Lauren had left yesterday without much explanation.
But Lauren left.
Why? She was talking to this guy on the phone, saying she need money and stuff for him to come pick her up.
Did you catch his name?
Something about Charmaine.
So no last name or anything?
No, sir.
Eventually, around 2 o'clock on the 7th, a person in a black truck did show up.
Oh, did you go look at him?
No, sir, he never got out the car.
Lauren say where he was taking her?
No, sir.
Did she say when she might be coming back?
No, sir, I didn't think she was.
He said she took her stuff with her when she left.
Is Leo telling the truth?
So they decided to search his home because they knew that at some point Lauren had been there.
During the search, detectives discover evidence that suggests Leo isn't telling them the whole story.
When officers served a search warrant on the home, they found some of the items Lauren had stolen from her ex-boyfriend, including guitars, that PlayStation.
Which contradicted Leo's claim that Lauren had taken all of her stuff when she had left.
Mr. Kensick, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to take you in.
What about my daughter?
We'll allow you to make arrangements for her before we go in.
Investigators know that he's lied to them, so they bring him in for an interview.
At the station, Leo denies he had anything to do with Lauren's death.
I wouldn't hurt her, I swear. It's Charmaine guys who you need to talk to.
He does admit to lying about Jerry's guitars and PlayStation, however.
He thought that he would get in trouble for having stolen property in his home.
The rest of Leo's story appears to check out too.
Turns out that Masons regularly have that kind of damage to their hands and they have gasoline on their clothing. So his story was confirmed.
But while Leo insisted that detectives should have been looking into this mysterious Charmaine character, the name was all he could really give them.
Listen, anything you can tell us about him would be helpful.
I really don't know that much.
He knew Lauren and him had some kind of relationship, that he was the kind of guy who had money and that she would typically use him when she needed money.
We're going to let you go, but if you remember anything, let us know.
Once detectives release Leo, they turn their attention to tracking down Charmaine.
At this point, now we know that Charmaine was actually the person who picked Lauren up from the home in Rising Fawn, making him the last person that has seen her alive.
But who is he? Detectives hope Lauren's mother can fill them in.
I only knew one Charmaine in Dalton. And I said, there's no way you're talking about Charmaine Goins.
Charmaine works for an organization called Launch, where he mentors ex-cons to try to help them get their lives back on track.
Charmaine was a guy who went to prison as a young person for an armed robbery, but from all intents and purposes, he had gotten his life together when he gotten out.
He was working with the Chattanooga Police Department, people that are in gangs and stuff, trying to get them established when they get out of prison.
He was married. He was a deacon in his church. He had children.
When detectives bring Charmaine in for questioning, he tells them that he did give Lauren a ride the day before police found her dead body.
This is what happened. So the girl, she called me. She Facebooked me, asked me to meet with her. I did.
He said that they have known each other for a very long time.
He says that he had helped Lauren when she was homeless. Says they met one day and he looked down a side street and saw a girl sitting next to a dumpster.
Here is this young girl. She needed a place to sleep, to stay.
Him being the upstanding pillar of community that he was, he got her a hotel room that night.
Then Charmaine says he turned to the nonprofit he worked with and helped Lauren get back on her feet.
He's a Christian, and that's what Christians do. They help people in need.
It's during that time that Lauren met Jerry, and she seemed to be getting her life back on track.
But all the while, Lauren had remained in regular contact with Charmaine.
She would call and text Mr. Goins for assistance.
So Charmaine says it wasn't all that surprising when she called, asking for a ride at around noon on October 7th.
She just wanted to get away from Rising Farm.
Okay.
And she said something about that. Somebody had got to arguing. She just wanted to get away from here.
I had told her, what are you doing? What's going on with you and Jerry? Oh, I had to get away.
So then after that, I went down, picked up.
Then where'd you go from there?
We drove back to Chattanooga.
Okay.
Yep, and then that's when I dropped off.
That was the end of his involvement. He said that she had friends come to pick her up from the Eastgate Mall.
She was texting some guy known as Fat Boy.
He thought it was her drug dealer, her marijuana dealer.
Although according to Charmaine, Fat Boy wasn't waiting when he dropped Lauren off at the mall.
Oh, thank you for the ride.
Hey, no problem. It's all right. Just be safe out there.
That was the last time that he heard from or talked to Lauren.
But then, just as the interview appears to be over, Charmaine says something that changes everything.
Anything else that you've thought of that maybe you didn't tell me?
Yeah, I really can't talk to my wife about the situation of this young lady.
Charmaine admits to the police that he and Lauren were having an affair.
It was a Lifetime movie coming real live.
We had sex that weekend.
Barely 48 hours after police found Lauren Taylor's body in a suburban Atlanta park, her friend Charmaine Goins has just dropped a bombshell.
Mr. Goins did have an extramarital affair with Miss Taylor.
That was while Charmaine was working with his nonprofit to help Lauren find a place to live.
However, Charmaine swore he would never do anything to hurt Lauren.
I was good to Lauren. I wouldn't hurt her.
Asked where he was in the hours after he dropped Lauren at the mall, Charmaine says he'd been helping a friend named Sammy Betts.
He had an alibi for that night because he was in bed at home with his wife when his friend called and said he needed a jump start.
I think 11:15, 11:20, somewhere around there.
He had gone to help him with the car. This is what kind of person Mr. Goins is.
Charmaine says that his wife could vouch for him getting up out of bed that night and that his friend could vouch for him.
Detectives conclude their interview with Charmaine and let him go. When they follow up with his wife, she confirms Charmaine's story.
What she said was that he got up out of bed and went to jumpstart that friend.
She also says that Charmaine told her about his affair with Lauren.
She was devastated, as he knew she would be. I think that he admitted it because he knew that it was going to be hard for him to keep a secret, so he went ahead and told her before she heard about it secondhand.
Will Charmaine's friend Sammy also confirm his account? Before detectives can find out, they finally hear back from Lauren's ex, Jerry Day.
Homicide.
He said that he had been out of town for a while.
After he and Lauren broke up, he decided to go out with his friends on a camping trip to get over it all. He says that he didn't even know the police were looking for him until he came back from out of the mountains.
When he speaks with detectives later that day, Jerry still appears distraught about Lauren's murder.
He says he still very much had love for Lauren. When she first moved in with him, he thought that he might have found the one.
But you broke up with her, so there must have been problems.
Yeah, I started to see a different side of her. She could be really aggressive, you know?
He said she would often put hands on him.
She was actually destructive in his house. He talked about how she broke things. She actually frightened him.
But it was what I heard last right before we broke up. That really was the last straw for me.
He found out that she had been having sex with somebody else. Paid sex.
I confronted her, and it was obvious. So I broke up with her after that.
He immediately broke it off with her. But she wasn't going to have that happen.
She said I couldn't break up with her because she was having my baby.
An unwanted pregnancy is a motive for murder.
So you don't understand. Lauren wasn't pregnant.
It was a regular thing that she would say when they got into fights.
Police are inclined to believe Jerry's story, especially since they confirmed that Lauren wasn't pregnant.
So what did you say to her?
I told her she was lying.
He was trying to break up with Lauren. So if she was pregnant, he was asking that she have an abortion.
After that, I told her to leave, but she refused.
He then left the house and he called the police to come have her removed.
And when I came back with the cops, Lauren was gone and so were a bunch of my things. After that, I made sure Lauren would never contact me again.
Jerry's statement lined up with what detectives had previously heard from Lauren's sister and Lauren's friend Leo.
When detectives follow up with Jerry's friends, they confirm his alibi.
There were multiple people that could vouch for his location and whereabouts. So he went from day one, suspect number one, to being out of the equation as somebody who we know did not commit this murder.
With Jerry ruled out as a suspect, detectives move on to the other person who could verify Charmaine Goins' alibi, his friend, Sammy Betts.
He was an ex-felon. He had spent time in custody.
When he got out, Mr. Goins helped him get a job.
But there's something else about Sammy that really catches the detective's attention.
When the police look up Sammy's prior address, they notice that it was right across the park from where Lauren's body was found.
Now we're on to suspect number 4 by my count.
With their eye on Sammy, investigators call him on the grounds of going over Charmaine's alibi.
That's who they thought had something to do with her death.
So do you know Lauren Taylor?
Nah, I knew we were seeing her though.
Charmaine had told him about the affair with Lauren.
But Sammy's portrayal of the relationship is different from Charmaine's.
I knew he had got a little fed up with her.
He wanted to end the affair, but didn't know what to do.
He talked about how she was crazy and how she was going to tell his wife about what was happening.
He just somehow needed to get rid of Lauren.
The friend said in response, "That's not a good idea. Don't even think like that."
You think Charmaine took that advice?
Yeah, because after a while he stopped talking about it.
The detectives aren't so sure. But Sammy offers them what appears to be proof of Charmaine's alibi.
There were a series of text messages asking for a jump start.
After we got my car fixed, we went out to breakfast.
And what time did you get home?
Like 6 a.m.
We see you used to live near the Deshaun Park.
Yes, sir. My girlfriend lives over there.
She still lived at that address, and he would go there on the weekends sometimes.
You do know that's where they found the body, Miss Taylor.
I heard on the news.
However, according to Sammy, that was just a coincidence.
When detectives asked about his connection to where they found Lauren's body, Sammy shrugged it off.
On the night of October 7th, were you anywhere near that park?
No, sir.
But is the ex-con telling the truth? Or is Charmaine's phone about to prove Sammy's undoing?
If you're making a phone call, they can tell which tower was used to make that phone call or send that text.
They called me with information. It was just like my mouth dropped open.
We knew we had the right guy.
When detectives question ex-con Sammy Betts about the night Lauren Taylor died, he appears to confirm Charmaine Goins' alibi.
He says that Charmaine did, in fact, come jump his car. They went and had some breakfast at IHOP.
However, detectives suspect Sammy may be hiding something.
According to his parole records, he once lived near where the police found Lauren's body.
Still unsure of Charmaine's alibi, detectives keep digging.
We started to get phone records, starting with Lauren's.
Lauren's records reveal that her relationship with Charmaine was anything but casual.
They text all the time. They used affectionate names for each other, say, "I love you" all the time.
He was telling Lauren he was going to leave his wife.
But by the time Lauren had broken things off with Jerry, it was clear that something with Charmaine had changed.
She had texted Charmaine asking for money.
She had just been kicked out of her house. She needed somewhere to stay.
Charmaine blew her off.
There were so many text messages, and he didn't respond back.
Left in the lurch with no money and nowhere to go, Lauren panicked.
She's texting him saying, "Hey, if you don't pick up your phone, I'm going to show up at your kids' schools. I'm going to show up at your wife's house. I'm going to tell them all about us."
That got Charmaine's attention.
He responds. There were very angry, upset text messages, but Charmaine agrees to go and pick her up from Rising Fawn.
At 2 p.m. on the afternoon of the 7th, Charmaine sent Lauren a text to say he was outside.
Lauren's phone was never used after that.
When detectives receive Charmaine's phone records, their contents are even more damning.
After getting his phone records and having them mapped out, that he had not, in fact, gone to help his friend jumpstart his car, we have him pinging around the 285 east towards Gwinnett County.
The signal basically led right to where police found Lauren's body.
We knew we had our person.
They arrest him and charge him with Lauren's murder.
He was indicted on malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault.
I was happy that they arrested somebody, but I still can't believe that it's him that did this. He's trying to help people.
But when Charmaine goes on trial on August 29th, 2017, the prosecutors move quickly to demolish the church deacon's good guy image.
He was a man of two lives, a man who had a life that we all wanted on the surface. But in his second life, he was a person who used his position to get what he wanted from women and a manipulator. And eventually, and most importantly, he was a killer.
Prosecutors believe that the beginning of Charmaine's story was essentially true.
He actually does go and pick her up. From there, I believe that Charmaine did actually take her to the Eastgate Mall. When people start telling lies, they try to include a little bit of truth to make it more believable.
But prosecutors believe Lauren never made it out of Charmaine's SUV.
It seemed like the text conversation argument led to argument in person.
She said something, she did something that he didn't like.
Hey, I'm telling you, keep your mouth shut.
I will tell your wife, your children, everybody's gonna know about you. You ain't no Mr. Nice Guy.
Hey, shut it up.
She was going to out him. He would probably lose his wife. He would probably lose his job.
He was scared Lauren was tough, and she meant what she said.
That's when and where he killed her.
Presented with the evidence detectives have against Charmaine, Sammy Betts agrees to testify for the prosecution.
He says Charmaine didn't tell him what he was going to do or why he was doing it. He just told him that they were going to send a series of text messaging asking for a jump start and that he was going to act like he came and jump started him.
Then, with his cover story arranged, Charmaine had hit the road, driving Lauren's body as far from Chattanooga as he could.
But I think it was the only part that he was familiar with in Gwinnett County.
Once inside the park, Charmaine dragged Lauren's body down the trail and tried to set it on fire.
But in doing so, he made another error.
I guess bodies don't burn like you see on TV.
They were able to take her fingerprints at the scene. They very quickly got a match.
From there, everything led the detectives back to Charmaine.
When it's the defense's turn, they suggest that Lauren's work as an escort led to her death.
Because Lauren was still working as a prostitute, there could have been any number of men who may have become violent with her.
In the end, it's not enough to sway the jury, who find Charmaine guilty of murder.
He was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
I was happy they made the right decision. We got some type of justice for her.
I want him to sit in prison for the rest of his life and think about what he did.
And while Charmaine broods in prison, Lauren's family will never forget the life he snuffed out far too soon.
There's not one day that goes by that I don't think about her.
She didn't deserve what happened to her. She had her whole life to live, literally.
She was a young woman with a drive to succeed.
She had confidence.
She had established her own business.
She was a hustler.
But was she in too much of a hurry to grow up?
This dude got a gun.
They had a woman show up with a gunshot wound.
I knew in my heart that my daughter was dead.
Oh my God.
Was she an innocent victim?
He was stalking her. Put his hands on her.
Domestic violence is real.
Or did teenage confidence cost her everything?
She bragged that she could beat him up.
I'm a bad.
That's why he pulled the gun out.
Let's go.
I didn't shoot nobody.
October 2nd, 2018. It's Tuesday afternoon in Dayton, Ohio, a Rust Belt city of 200,000.
The city has lost population, but it has been showing some good signs of attracting new businesses.
There's been a boom in people moving back downtown.
Crime remains a problem, however.
It's not unusual to have police called on a shooting.
But the call that 17-year-old LaShonda Childs makes to 911 at 2 o'clock that afternoon is anything but typical.
911, you need help?
Can you just send somebody out here? This
What's your
dude
phone
got
number?
a gun.
She's telling 911 dispatchers, I've got a guy with a gun out. He's pointed at my boyfriend that I need help.
I'm scared he got a gun.
The operator dispatches officers to the address LaShonda provides and then attempts to keep her on the line during the commotion.
Is the guy black or white? What's he wearing?
I am in a bad situation. People can't talk in every situation. Officer, send somebody.
Did you walk away so I could talk to you?
I can't. He has a gun.
She was scared. They heard fear in her voice.
Then, in the middle of the call, the line goes dead.
Does he still have the gun pointed at your boyfriend?
Shortly after the call is cut off, officers arrive at the address.
Police show up. There's no crime scene. They didn't find a victim.
And they couldn't find LaShonda either.
LaShonda Childs had spent her whole life in Dayton, part of a loving and happy family.
We were a pretty close-knit family. You know, of course, she was a teenager, but other than that, she was a great kid. We had a good relationship.
Okay, Mom, I'm coming.
At the end of the day, they were mother and daughter. They were tight no matter what.
At 17, LaShonda was also growing into a beautiful young woman.
Her interests were beauty and style.
I loved her style because it was her own.
Shonda was always a girly girl, like nails done, hair done. She was real good at it.
Hair and nails were more than just a hobby, however. The teen had found a career.
As she went into high school, she started putting her business together.
She had a licensed business called the Beauty Bender.
She did hair, braids, cuts, sew-ins, wigs. Shonda did it all.
She still found time to have fun, though.
She would always be the life of the party.
When you met her, like you couldn't help but to love her.
She could make anybody laugh off of any subject. She was funny, and Shonda was caring too.
She was very popular everywhere. At school, outside of school, home, anywhere she went.
The pretty, popular teen turned entrepreneur had her fair share of attention from the boys, too.
She was very beautiful. Like I said, different, beautiful. She had confidence.
And by the fall of 2017, LaShonda had caught the attention of one young man in particular, 20-year-old Trendell Goodwin. The two first met online.
And then they ended up linking in person.
Oh, sorry I'm late. I just got off of work.
It's okay.
Do you work? Or are you in college?
No, I'm only like 17.
You look too grown to be 17.
How old are you?
20.
Oh, wow.
After their face-to-face encounter, LaShonda and Trendell's relationship heated up on social media.
He sent her a friend request.
As soon as LaShonda accepted, Trendell was all over her timeline.
He would be under all her posts or always texting her, always liking a picture, basically throwing himself on her, and eventually she caught him.
Soon, the pair were inseparable.
I don't know exactly what attracted her to him. Probably the consistency, him constantly reassuring her, like, I want to be with you, I'll take care of you.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Ready to go?
Yep.
He would go above and beyond. He was always calling her, texting her, good morning, beautiful, calling her every night, texting her every night. Basically the dream guy.
But while LaShonda was head over heels, her family had reservations.
This young man was 2 or 3 years older than her.
We had told her, like, that's too old, but she was rebelling at the time.
You couldn't tell her nothing.
She had her own ideas on what she wanted to do.
And in October of 2018, the up-and-coming entrepreneur was ready to start the next phase in her young life.
She was just trying to come up in the world, whatever it was to get the dollar.
Shonda was on her way to the top. Ain't no telling what business opportunities would have came her way. The whole world was still in front of her.
But now, 3 days before her 18th birthday, LaShonda has just made a panicked call to 911.
This dude got a gun pointed to my boyfriend head.
This is happening right now. This guy has a gun. I can't talk. I'm in a bad situation.
She said, I need officers out here.
But when officers arrived, there's no crazed gunman, no boyfriend in danger, and no LaShonda.
Police are still canvassing the area when another urgent call comes in on the radio, one that may provide an answer for the mystery.
They're getting a call from the hospital saying, hey, we just had a woman show up with a gunshot wound.
On the verge of turning 18 at the beginning of October 2018, LaShonda Childs had a bright future ahead of her.
She was feeling herself because her business was taken up off the ground.
It was very good. She had a lot of people. She would be doing her waxes, and then she went into nails. She was so busy.
But now, police have just received a panicked call from LaShonda, claiming that someone has a gun to her boyfriend's head.
Police show up, but there's no crime scene and no LaShonda Childs.
Then another call comes in from dispatch, reporting a nearby hospital has just admitted a gunshot victim.
When they receive anybody that's got a gunshot wound or they suspect, they immediately call police.
When detectives respond to the hospital, they're shocked to learn that the victim is LaShonda.
Is this the victim of the shooting on Shoup?
LaShonda Childs? She's still in surgery. We're not sure if she's going to make it.
She was shot up in this area, right above the heart.
She was hit in the neck and shoulder, but obviously those were not the fatal wounds. But one of the shots hit her in the head.
Who brought her in? Are they still here?
The boyfriend's in the waiting room. He's the one that brought her to the hospital.
Considering what LaShonda said on her 911 call, the news that her boyfriend had driven her to the hospital came as a surprise.
Wait, he wasn't shot? I thought the call was somebody had a gun on him.
After talking to the nurse, detectives approached the anxious young man sitting in the waiting room, 19-year-old Lawrence Robbins.
Lawrence was nervous. He's waiting on news about LaShonda, and now these detectives were there to figure out what went down.
LaShonda's boyfriend?
Lawrence tells detectives that the man who shot LaShonda was her ex-boyfriend, Trendell Goodwin.
He said that he and LaShonda went over to Trendell's house that afternoon.
She went to go get her belongings back.
So, Lawrence, what happened?
LaShonda was afraid to go over there and talk to him alone.
Detectives aren't so sure, however.
Did you go there to start a fight with Trendell?
No, I didn't go over there to start a fight, but I wasn't going to back down from one. You got to know what I'm saying.
Did you have any kind of weapon, a gun, or a knife?
No, honestly, I didn't think I needed one.
He explained that he was just there to protect LaShonda and make her feel safe.
So how'd you feel about Trendell and LaShonda? Were you jealous or what?
No, man. I mean, she's been done with him like long time ago.
Lawrence says that when they arrived at Trendell's, LaShonda texted him from the car.
Lawrence said he waited in the car while LaShonda got out to talk to her ex.
But he claims that the conversation between LaShonda and Trendell quickly turned into an argument.
He had convinced her, come get your belongings. We can be done. But when she got there, it was a totally different thing.
Lawrence said he got out of the car to make sure nothing happened.
They're out of the vehicle, kind of in a standoff there.
Lawrence says that Trendell kept the gun on him while LaShonda called 911.
Lawrence's story matched up with what LaShonda told the 911 operator.
This dude got a gun pointed to my boyfriend head.
At that point, Lawrence and LaShonda decided to go back to their car and get out of there.
Let's go.
Lawrence gets behind the wheel. LaShonda's in the front passenger seat.
Lawrence said he was relieved when he started the car and they began to pull away.
But according to Lawrence, Trendell wasn't going to let them escape unharmed.
Trendell hits her in the head and also in the neck and shoulder.
Lawrence says he stepped on the gas, trying to escape.
When he went to make the turn at the stop sign, she just fell over, and he looked over. She wasn't moving.
Robbins keeps driving. He takes her straight to the hospital.
Have you been able to reach her family?
No. And I've been calling her mom like nonstop.
You got her address?
Yeah, I do. It's 327 Warlock Avenue.
Lawrence, stay close.
Detectives then head out to notify LaShonda's mother and find her ex-boyfriend.
Between the 911 call and Lawrence's eyewitness account, it looked like they had a slam dunk case against Trendell.
Her calling the police on him being frustrated because she does, I just feel like that's why he did what he did.
But is Lawrence telling the truth? Or will detectives learn that there's more to the story than he's letting on?
It's not like she's 100% innocent of any wrongdoing.
She bragged on social media that she would have other people do things to him or beat him up.
LaShonda Child's new boyfriend, Lawrence Robbins, has just told police that her ex, Trendell Goodwin, shot her outside his Dayton, Ohio home.
According to Lawrence, he had driven LaShonda to Trendell's so she could pick up some of her things, and then they got into an argument.
Trendell drew a gun, was pointed at him. They decide, we're going to go back to our car, get in the car, and try and leave. And before they drive away is apparently when he fired.
After talking to Lawrence at the hospital, detectives put out an APB for Trendell. Then they reach out to LaShonda's mother.
Hi, may I help you?
LaShonda has been in an accident and is at Grandview. We're going to need you to come with us.
The detectives hoped that LaShonda's mom could give them some insight on her daughter's relationship with Trendell.
I'm like, what's going on? And they said, your daughter has been seriously shot. I said, shot? I get my keys. They said, no, we'll take you.
On the way, she calls LaShonda's brother, Jalen.
She had broke the news to me, so I dropped everything and rushed to Grandview.
Jalen is still on the way when the detectives usher his mother into the ICU to see LaShonda.
Oh, my God.
I walked to the foot of the bed, and I looked at her. I said, in my mind, my daughter is dead. They're pumping medication in her, but there's no life.
Despite her grief, LaShonda's mother is able to give investigators a detailed account of her daughter's relationship with Trendell Goodwin.
I always had a bad feeling about him.
He was possessive or controlling, or as he would call it, territorial.
According to her mother, LaShonda had told her not to worry.
She'd say, Mom, he's nice. He's a good person.
But then the family learned something that confirmed her mother's suspicions about Trendell.
Trendell, according to the family, told them and told her he was 20 years old. He was not.
So do you think she knew how old he was when she started going out with him?
He lied. He said he was 20 years old. He's 28. He's a grown man and she's just 17.
The family says that LaShonda and Trendell had been dating more than a month before they learned his true age.
I'm like, 28? Really?
The family was furious, but LaShonda continued to see Trendell.
She said, he apologized. He had even got her something, so, she had forgave him.
But Trendell's bad behavior persisted.
He stole from her plenty of times. Jewelry, phones, even scarves. If it had value to it, he would try to steal it.
A couple months later, Trendell apparently becomes jealous over a text on her phone, and he threw a drink on her.
Finally, LaShonda decided she'd had enough.
She said she was done with him, and he couldn't live with that. It was like, you're going to be with me.
Shonda was the best thing he had, I felt. Best thing ever happened to him. And he wouldn't leave her alone. Just stalker stuff, creepy stuff.
My phone would ring 70, 80 times a day.
He would hang around in abandoned houses around the neighborhood to watch her.
All the while, the family says that Trindell's stalking and harassment continued to take a toll.
She disclosed to me, Mama, I'm scared. I'm scared of him.
She was 17. So of course she was scared. I honestly don't know how she was coping.
Despite the stress, LaShonda had tried to move on with her new boyfriend, Lawrence Robbins.
From what I heard, he was treating her good, so I was all right with it. He gave me a good vibe.
According to the family, LaShonda had initially tried to keep Trindell from finding out about her new boyfriend.
He would call and question her, but she wouldn't tell him because, she knew he would do something to Lawrence.
But in spite of LaShonda's attempt to keep Trindell in the dark, the family suspects he eventually found out that she was seeing someone new.
LaShonda's mother reported to police that Trindell had threatened to kill her.
We're together, riding in a car. Her phone rings. And she answered the phone and he said, I'm going to kill you, bitch. I said, hang up the phone. But I heard it for myself.
According to LaShonda's mother, Trindell didn't stop there either.
He texted my son and told him he would kill LaShonda. He didn't care if he had to go to jail.
Do you think he meant it, or was it just talk?
I know he meant it.
In fact, the family thought he may have already tried.
On September 15th, LaShonda Childs and her mom called police out to their house at night, said someone shot up their house.
My phone rings and then they hangs up. My phone rings again and he asks for my daughter. And I'm like, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, about 3 to 4 minutes after that, I hear a noise in the living room. And my house gets shot up.
Of course, they believed it was Trindell.
Called Dayton police again. I knew it was Trindell. They said, well, how do you know it was him?
Of course, they believed it was Trindell, but they couldn't prove it.
Now, just a few weeks later, LaShonda is in the hospital fighting for her life, and the police have an eyewitness to the shooting, her boyfriend, Lawrence Robbins.
He was able to tell them who it was, and they took Trindell into custody that night.
Police, open up! Put your hands up! You're under arrest.
What is this about?
Detectives figure Trindell already knows the answer.
Trindell obviously knew what happened with the fight.
You're under arrest for assault for the shooting of LaShonda Childs.
Trindell's story painted the complete opposite picture from what Lawrence had given them.
Police in Dayton, Ohio have just arrested 28-year-old Trindell Goodwin for shooting his former girlfriend, 17-year-old LaShonda Childs.
Questioned after he drove LaShonda to the hospital, her new boyfriend, Lawrence Robbins, had identified Trindell as the shooter.
Because Lawrence Robbins knew who it was, they had him in custody that night.
It's only hours after the shooting when detectives sit down with Trindell to get his side of the story.
Do you want to talk to us about it? If you do, we're going to go over your rights. If you don't, we're just going to go ahead and be done.
Trindell insisted that he wouldn't do anything to hurt LaShonda, that he loved her, though he did admit they had a lot of problems.
He was saying, hey, this was a somewhat violent, tempestuous relationship, a lot of passion involved on both sides. We had arguments and we both would get really heated.
Trindell also claims that it was often LaShonda who lost her temper.
Some of the arguments were caused by her being jealous, at least one of them, of something she saw on his phone.
According to Trindell, LaShonda also threatened him on numerous occasions.
She bragged on social media that she could beat him up and that she would have her father or other people do things to him.
Trindell says that on one occasion, LaShonda had even shown up at his house with a group of friends, looking to beat him up.
There were allegations of LaShonda Childs allegedly pepper spraying Trindell's sister when Trindell didn't come out.
Basically, he didn't deny that things became violent, but claimed that LaShonda had been the instigator.
He didn't think he'd ever done anything out of line.
But if Trindell hadn't done anything wrong, why is LaShonda the one lying in the hospital, clinging to life?
When detectives asked Trindell to give his account of the shooting, he said it all started when LaShonda came by his house to see him.
However, while Lawrence claimed they'd gone to Trindell's to pick up some of LaShonda's belongings, her ex tells a different story.
Depending on who you believe, the idea was that there was going to be a fist fight.
Trindell told the investigators that LaShonda brought Lawrence over to beat him up.
He says he didn't think it would be a fair fight either.
Trindell said LaShonda had some pepper spray with her and was going to come and pepper spray him.
So Trindell says that when he stepped outside to talk to LaShonda, he wasn't taking any chances.
Trindell was claiming that he was just as scared of them as they were of him.
Trindell explains he feared the attack wouldn't stop there, so he retreated to the porch to get his gun.
He said he didn't intend to shoot anyone. He just wanted to keep Lawrence and LaShonda away from him.
Trindell says that LaShonda responded by pulling out her phone.
I'm calling the police, Trindell!
Once on the line, LaShonda frantically reported the situation to the dispatcher.
I am in a bad situation. The officer sent somebody.
Then Trindell says that LaShonda, perhaps having second thoughts, had abruptly hung up before heading back to the car with Lawrence.
Trindell said that he thought the whole thing was over at that point.
Let's go, let's go!
But according to Trindell, as he approached their car, the situation took an unexpected turn.
LaShonda and her new boyfriend tried to run him over.
Trindell says that as he dove out of the way of the car, he fired blindly.
He didn't even know he hit the car or hit anything when he fired the shots. And the car kept going, which probably showed that the driver was able to keep driving away.
In Trindell's mind, he hadn't done anything wrong.
The detectives informed Trindell that isn't up to him to decide.
You can tell that to the jury. Go ahead and stand up. Put your hands behind your back.
But before the case can make its way to court, new evidence will surface that could help set a confessed killer free.
They got this new evidence, and it could possibly convince a jury Trindell was telling the truth.
Trindell Goodwin has just told investigators that he didn't intentionally shoot his ex-girlfriend, 17-year-old LaShonda Childs.
Trindell claimed that he shot at the car because LaShonda and her boyfriend Lawrence Robbins had tried to run him over.
He said he wasn't trying to hurt anyone.
He probably wouldn't have seen the outcome of any shots that were fired inside the vehicle.
However, despite his claims of self-defense, detectives placed Trindell under arrest for assault.
He's arrested for assault, but there's a high probability that the charges would be upgraded to murder.
While detectives were tracking down Trindell, LaShonda's family has spent an agonizing evening at the hospital.
They do everything they can for her, but there wasn't a lot. And by the next morning at about 1:30, she was pronounced dead.
My heart broke. Like, I broke down. I thought it wasn't real. Shonda wasn't supposed to go out like that.
I'm in shock. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
After LaShonda's death, detectives officially upgrade Trindell's charges to felony murder.
Case goes to grand jury, charges approved. They set a trial date for April of 2019.
In an effort to strengthen their case against him, detectives review Trindell's previous charges and find a potential gold mine. For the defense,
Some of the issues between those two had led to criminal cases against Trendell. He had been sentenced to 180 days and served a small fraction of that. And we found some documentation about why he got out early.
It's a letter that LaShonda wrote to the judge handling the case, and in it, she pleaded for leniency.
She writes, I don't want him to go to jail. We've had a rough time in our relationship, but we're patching it up. We want to move forward.
in the letter, LaShonda also takes some of the blame for their tumultuous relationship.
She said, we're both just good people with quick tempers.
She said in the letter that she felt lost without her protector, referring to Trendell, saying that she made better decisions with him and that she just missed him.
We can't get into exactly her thoughts when she wrote that letter, but the words that she used made it look like she wanted to get back together with Trendell Goodwin. It's also possible that maybe she feared more repercussions if he served an entire 180-day sentence.
Whatever the reasoning behind LaShonda's letter, it had an effect.
That was entered into the court record on April 23rd. The next day, the judge suspended the rest of Goodwin's sentence. So he served 19 out of the 180 days.
Combing through LaShonda's social media accounts reveals even more about her complicated relationship with Trendell.
Police were still able to see some of the interaction between him and LaShonda, and even other people commenting.
She'll post stuff about like the situation they had going on. So I comment on there and be like, you need to leave them alone.
Detectives also find a video LaShonda posted online about her relationship with Trendell.
And he jealous?
The video started out with the kind of angry venting that you might expect from a 17-year-old girl having an ugly breakup with her boyfriend.
He posted my picture talking about this little young get the hoe, and I'm only a hoe because I don't want to no more.
She also mocks Trendell for being a failure.
You're 11 years older than me, and you worried about what I'm doing. What I'm doing. Talk about how I look.
Then, warning others to steer clear of Trendell, LaShonda catalogs all the abuse she'd suffered.
She made some pretty specific claims about him, and she took people through what he had done, how he had hit her, how he had punched her, how he had kicked her. I mean, she really went all the way through that.
He just couldn't let go and, just stalking.
He always following me.
She said, hey, don't think it just happens in the movies. Domestic violence is real.
Talk about he gonna kill me and all this other stuff. Like, boy, you can't kill me. I'm a bad bitch.
LaShonda's bold response to Trendell went viral, well before her death.
It really took off. People responded to it, and it was shared like 42,000 times. And his response was, if y'all believe this, you're crazy. This girl has reported me 12, 13 times for doing things, and yet keeps coming back. Stop it. Another person responded to him and said, hey, how about letting her breathe a little bit? And he responded to that and said, oh, I'm going to let her breathe today, but she better get back here tomorrow because I got some big things planned.
To police, Trendell's comment on the video sounded like a veiled threat.
He said he had big things planned only a few days before LaShonda's death.
LaShonda also made some threats of her own.
I swear to God, I will mace all these niggas think I'm about to play with them. I'm about to pull up and mace everybody out.
Digging into her background, detectives uncover evidence that LaShonda had tried to follow through on her threats, too.
In July, LaShonda was actually arrested. She went over to Trendell Goodwin's sister's house looking for him.
Trendell, get out here! You and your friends need to leave right now. Tell Trendell to get out here. I want to talk to him.
Trendell had refused to come outside the house while LaShonda and her friends were there.
Trendell was never the type to be confrontational with males. It was more aggressive and dominant towards females.
Well, he's not coming out, so leave. No, he needs to leave me alone.
The argument got so heated that LaShonda pulled out pepper spray and actually sprayed her. Trendell's sister called police. LaShonda was then arrested, was released pretty quickly, but did face charges in juvenile court that were still active at the time of her murder. That case hadn't been resolved.
The charges on LaShonda's record put the prosecutors in a bind.
Trendell could try to say, see, this was not a one-sided thing. It was two people that were passionate and didn't want to give in to each other.
Prosecutors will still be weighing the odds when a new witness comes forward with more disturbing allegations.
She came forward and spoke about all those memories coming flooding back.
It almost seemed like the same playbook was being run.
28-year-old Trendell Goodwin is in jail awaiting trial for killing his ex-girlfriend, 17-year-old LaShonda Childs. But a murder conviction is anything but a foregone conclusion.
Trendell said that LaShonda and her new boyfriend had been trying to run him over, and prosecutors worried that LaShonda's past behavior could lend credence to his claim.
The defense would say Trendell feared for his life and therefore shot at the car to defend himself.
The prosecutors don't believe Trendell pulled the trigger in self-defense.
Other than Trendell's statement, there is no evidence that LaShonda's new boyfriend tried to run him over.
The prosecution side said that he was never in fear of his life, that he fired out of anger from the whole situation.
But will LaShonda's own words give the defense the backup they need?
She actually said in her letter to the judge back in April, when we're both strong-willed people with short tempers.
Prosecutors are in a tough spot until a new witness comes forward.
She's an ex-girlfriend of Trendell's.
She claimed that she too had been abused by Trendell and had similar type incidents happen to her.
This other woman talked about their relationship and the similar signs of domestic violence.
The things that LaShonda described sounded not just familiar to her, but it sounded like exactly what she had gone through.
Once Trendell's ex agrees to testify about his abuse, prosecutors feel confident they can win the case.
Her testimony would go a long way toward establishing a pattern of abuse.
With his trial approaching, it's soon apparent that Trendell is feeling the heat.
He was facing murder, several felonious assaults, some weapons charges. I mean, he was, we were up to 7, 8, 9 different charges against him.
Just days before Trendell's murder trial is about to begin, the defense reaches out to the prosecution, looking to cut a deal.
It came with manslaughter. And I said, no, it wasn't manslaughter. It was murder.
The prosecutors counteroffered 15 to life on the murder charge, plus an additional 3 years for using a gun to commit the crime.
Trendell agrees to the deal, and so does LaShonda's family.
At that time, I just wanted something done.
But at his sentencing hearing, Trendell makes a stunning request.
Trendell shocks everybody in the courtroom and goes, "Judge, I would like to withdraw my guilty plea."
It's especially shocking for LaShonda's family, who'd come to see justice done.
Of course I felt anger. No matter how you cut it, you murdered somebody.
They're like almost audibly gasping. And then he said he wanted his new private attorney off the case because he's accusing that lawyer of railroading him into a deal he didn't want.
Will the judge allow Trendell to back out of the deal?
The judge made his decision that based upon all the information that has been given, we're not going to allow you to change your decision of pleading guilty.
So then he asks Trendell if he has anything to say. Trendell said no.
LaShonda's mother, on the other hand, has plenty to say.
LaShonda's mom went up and said, Trendell's family still gets to see him and talk to him. My daughter no longer has a voice I can hear. And she said, I hope he gets everything he's got coming to him.
As a mother, I'm suffering. And I've learned that suffering is something that you carry with you through death. This is not temporary. This is permanent.
His attempt to back out of his plea a failure. It's possible Trendell will spend the rest of his life in prison.
In the end, the judge gave him basically exactly what the agreed upon plea deal had been, and they sentenced him to 18 years to life.
I feel like that wasn't enough time. She was young. She was full of life.
I still feel anger. I feel sorry for my sister, but I feel anger towards that whole situation.
It's a situation that's all too common.
Domestic violence is a nationwide issue, and it's really a bigger epidemic than I think a lot of people know.
And it's a situation that LaShonda, so determined to be independent, struggled with on her own.
The worlds of experience are so much different between a 28-year-old and a 17-year-old. How much knowledge does she have that the treatment that was going on towards her was even wrong?
We didn't see it in the beginning. Like I said, he was everything that a girl would want.
She stuck with him, stayed with him, even helped get him out of jail. And by the time she turned around and thought that this relationship is toxic, she couldn't find a way to get out, at least not get out safely.
And when she did finally reach out to her family and the police, they were unable to protect her.
Something should have been done, something should have been done way before.
Don't ignore it. If it happens one time, it'll happen again.
Threats and any type of violent behavior, don't cover it up. Let someone know. They're telling you not to tell someone, please tell someone. Run and tell someone. Do not let this become you.
Abuse is never okay. If you or someone you love is in an abusive relationship, there is help available. Call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE.